Yay, I'm live. Hello, hello. Welcome. So nice to connect for new moon oracle session and circle. Wow, it feels like it's been a minute. Please, as you arrive, I want to make sure that everyone has something to hydrate with. You're welcome as well to bring any cards, crystals, anything that you're guided to share with this session and the energy. Hi. So please, if you wish to chat and type of anything that has come through that you wish to add to the energy of this connection, you're more than welcome to. And to begin, Happy New Moon. It's quite, where to begin? Where to begin? Well, always beginning with sound. And it's neat. Actually, I wasn't sure if I was going to share this or not, but of course I am. I cut my finger today, and it was neat because, of course, I was in still somewhat dream state, and I decided to start to clean things, which is nice if you're cleaning soft objects, but not so nice when you're cleaning knives and things like that that are in the kitchen, in the kitchen sink. So of course, I gently sliced my finger, and it was my right finger. So in preparation to this session, I normally take a bath, and I checked in, and they were like, no, take a shower. Connect to the water flow, not kind of sitting in the water. And so it was the first time I actually took a shower fully in bathing myself. I'm right-handed with my left hand. And it was the wildest thing of just, I'm not, is it called ambidextrous? So it was a very odd and awkward type of sensation of cleaning and connecting to my body with allowing kind of my weaker side to guide. And so it definitely, why I choose to share this is that for sure, the energies that have stepped through, it's not feeling like it's anymore a kabang. The energy is gently amplifying, is gently amping up with now more and more of our capacity. And even in the places or parts of self that you may not feel fully capable or feel like it is your weakest link or more challenging part of self, we're being asked for that to kind of come with and to step forward in this journey. For we're moving definitely this year into a greater expansion, but that greater expansion is in accessing our harmony, accessing our internal union. So lots of course to come through, but I'm encouraged to just check in with you all first that have chosen to come and sit with me online and live, and also to fill me in if there is certain messages that have been really dominant or prominent in these past couple of days. Specifically, I'd share from January 11th on, because there was a good shift that occurred on that date. And to see where the synchronicities abound, because if you have felt the difference in heart connection and the incredible synchronicities that are just flowing just so gently, like this most loving dance, it has been quite beautiful. So I look forward to hearing from you. And while I give you some time to write down anything and share, because I know texting and typing takes some time, I am guided to just do some breath and some centering connection for those that also might be tapping and tuning into this in other time. So if you do not have anything to type, or even as you do share, just allow yourself to take some deep belly breaths. And even to allow the belly to feel a bit distended, to get even bigger than usual, to allow your spine to come more into its natural curve, allowing the shoulders to relax, not worrying about any type of perfect posture at this moment. So you can really enable some settling within the hips, the pelvis, and your seat, be it that you're choosing to lie down for this session and listen that way, or you're seated. Sometimes I've even listened to YouTube chats in the bathtub. So I know that we might be tuning in all different ways. Just let the lower part of your body start to settle. And as that lower part of the body starts to settle, enjoying some exhales and just hearing the sound of your exhale. And how the depth of the exhale and the settling of your being enable you to simultaneously feel deeper breaths and expansion into your heart space. But remembering that on the pathway from belly to heart, there is your core. That space governed by your fire, by that spark, connection to that solar energy. And as you take this time to center, to allow yourself to also then those senses to expand, feeling to expand, almost as if that feeling is expanding out through all your holes, kind of clearing the channels of your ears, even the ones that are above the ears, mouth, nose. Some of you may have connected with me and our time together previously of that tone or that heart sound that is yours. If this is a newer concept to you, just allow the exhale to elongate and the tone of your exhale to expand, to flow simply and as beautifully as water. Oh. Oh. I will share some sound that is coming through. It definitely feels that is coming from earth, from this expanded connection of all earth beings. As you connect to sound, allow that to usher in even a greater movement into your breath, into your being, sensing and exploring what symbols, what signs, what words, what thoughts may come and may arise. Allowing yourself to gently, if you had your eyes closed, to open. Just going to hydrate a bit. Ooh, even with outer challenges, Jody is feeling more and more hopeful. Hope, I love that word. Yes, yes. But even it's interesting that you bring that up, Jody, for stepping into new moon. I was finally nudged to do my personal annual reading on myself. And I usually do it kind of around either actually solstice or New Year's, and I kept saying it wasn't right timing yet, and then got the nudge literally on the 12th. That night, and tapped in, did all my work of ceremony and calling in and connecting to spirit and my guides. And then, as I drew the cards with this, I tend to do the annual one with Psychic Tarot. I just know the energy very well with it, and have read and worked with them for so many years that and it was so neat to see that when cards that were even drawn that I used to, even a year ago, would have looked at it and gone, holy crap, this is challenging. This is like, I don't want that card. There was none of that energy anymore around that card. It was a very different perspective that I was receiving. The messages were much more hopeful. It was seeing kind of, for lack of a better term, the silver lining, or just that different perspective shift that we've been kind of cultivating last year, has been cemented. It feels like it is just now here. So I do resonate a lot with that, Jody, and definitely feel that, yes, it's a different not necessarily that we have never felt hope within challenge or things that may feel like they're out of your hands or may feel like they're too insurmountable to tackle before, but this shift feels somewhat just more easeful, like it takes less work to access that hope now and to access that perspective shift. It's not like you're still seeing the thing that you were unlearning and then moving, going like, okay, this is something that I'm seeing in myself that, feels a little caca, and now I'm going to move to the right or to the left. It's definitely more so that you've already shifted to the right or to the left. And so you're now seeing potential same challenge or new challenge in a different way. I'm just checking in. Debbie is sharing, I've been much, much slower and gentler with things, even in times of high anxiety. Lots of focus on, is this issue, worry, activity, argument really worth my time, energy? If not, can I let it go? Absolutely. If it is, I've been doing my best to speak my truth. Lots of space for allowing. Beautiful. Well, we know from our wondrous Indigenous elders and teachers that it is, bear medicine is strong right now. It is the time for rest. It is the season that is specifically in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in winter, of just really giving more space. And that space is even in that kind of running wheel of thought. I've been getting a lot of messages of nourishment, but with the emphasis on the mental, on allowing you to nourish your mind. And what we sometimes have perceived as mind or mental nourishment seems to be like the intake of information. And actually, all that I've been getting is like, no, the nourishment of the mind just, it's a receiver. It just wants to be able to receive the energies. And so it requires more space from information. So that mind nourishment has been definitely slowing down, allowing a lot more sleep, just in general, and giving yourself some space within the days to rest the mind from that worry, anxiety, activity, right? And of course, though, anything, if we're resting the mind, that means, of course, that we're resting the body. And so there is also a huge emphasis on bodily nourishment and allowing our body more so to not, there's no leader, but like, for lack of a better word, it's going, hey, like we are us, our sentient body, our feeling body, our physicality, is our connection to this earth ecosystem. And so the more that earth energy is rampant and expansive on this planet now, our body is the way that we can tap into that energy without it feeling like it's at one only specific part of time of the day. And so definitely allowing and listening to your body has been very, very relevant and important. The emphasis almost, my last moon cycle, personally, it was like I literally had to just sit with my body and be like, how I think I've shared in the past that there was a time when my mentor, Earth Keeper Nogami Celine, said that there is a surrender that is required to do for Mother Earth, and how you could literally just dig a hole in the ground and be like, oh, surrender, but do some type of ceremony to initiate that connection, that openness, that allowing. And it felt as if my body was asking for that, like literally requiring me to have a certain ceremony of deep release, of going like, hey, this embodied experience, the work that we are, keep coming back and back again into physical form for, there is something so important about our being, or about our body. So I was like, surrender. I listen. And definitely, body is asking so much for more rest, nourishment, space, and allowing. I love that. So that, yes, that truth that we feel, that first comes as a feeling. And then as we learn to translate the messages that our feelings bring, the feeling then can become something more, be it a sign, a symbol, a word, there's been a lot of kind of redefining of language and how we are describing of things, because there is such a depth to each feeling, each message that the body brings. So with this more space, with this slowing down and gentler pace, I feel that intuition, it's like beyond intuition. It's really allowing our body as we would feel as a sentient being, like a planet, as a sentient being, like the Earth, the Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. It feels as if our body itself is awakening, or stepping further into the role of being that planet, as we have more worked in initially in the past couple of years of course, really stepping into that taking back of power, that becoming sovereign. This feels almost like this is now the aftermath of that. If you've been working on sovereignty of self, of feeling your true capacity, your power and potential, 2222, as I shared that, then it's now as if the body has kind of activated as this incredible sentient body being, as magnanimous, as wondrous as how we could perceive planets. So yes, I still have so much resonance with all that has shared. And also with this thing, with language, which is, of course, I love kind of taking apart words, figuring out what the roots are. That's kind of the radicalization of language, and unlearning, kind of finding new ways, or more resonant ways of expressing oneself. And so in that speaking of truth, if I feel that at the beginning, as we heal and have worked through trauma, that may be around speaking our truth and being you and being true to yourself, and sharing boundaries, or sharing all those things that were required so that you could feel more powerful and more sovereign. That has been almost, I think it's clinically described as, yes, like trauma does inhibit us from speaking, and it takes time. And I know this myself, even in my own healing from my own traumas, that it took time for me to feel more capable of speaking my truth. But to add to that now, it definitely feels that if there is sometimes faltering or difficulty in speaking your truth, it's not just as if, or it's not just because of you healing from trauma, and moving past that. It is also now because in truth, in that alignment, in that energetic frequency, for lack of a better word, of your true balance. Once, and we have really tapped into that more than once of last year, for sure, in our practices together, then in that truth, sometimes it's actually speaking it is just difficult because you're like, what word do I use? what actually, how can I actually share my truth in the language that I know? Because there is so much of almost that language falling away. There is this beautiful episode of a show that I watch, Ancient Civilizations on Gaia, that just came out. And of course, they started the year synchronistically all about symbols. And I was mesmerized by it because I've received a lot of my initial channelings and kind of higher frequency guidance and connection. First it would be translated via numbers or symbols instead of words, right? Words is kind of like the final translation because we're finally learning how to actualize all that is being received by this symbol, which of course can take even a year. It can take some time to translate all that is shared within a symbol. And so in this episode, they were sharing how this woman started to study all these ancient cave paintings from like 20,000, 30,000, like the very first cave paintings that were found, because they were studied singularly, but they weren't studied all together. And so she would travel and connect and start to see that there was actually almost like a symbol alphabet, for lack of a better term, that was being used all over the world. And these symbols, the common symbols used, worked out to be about 22. Special power number with that. So I find definitely in our speaking our truth now, if you feel sometimes discombobulated in your language and your words, or being able to share truthfully what you are currently experiencing, that is okay, because we are almost kind of stepping back, seeing what is the symbology, and then moving forward into seeing how we can create or share truth in a more unified and harmonious way. So singing and sound work has been really beautiful to do, and definitely subtle melodies. So meaning melodies that are easy for you to pick up, things that are easy for you to remember. If you hear one that feels very resonant from a singer or someone else, allow yourself to then start to hum that and embody that sound, because that sound is an assister as well in this work and this path that we are currently on. Yes. Okay. I see some good resonance from what I've been sharing. Excellent. I'm curious though to see if there have been any symbols that have been coming up for people, because symbols, as I shared, can hold a lot more information than sometimes what we feel we receive in word, in downloads. So if there are any, please share. And I'm going to, get some cards, because cards, of course, are symbols. They're sharing something pictorially that we can all connect to and locate and find meaning with. Oh, okay, so the ones that are coming are interesting because these two card decks actually don't have pictures of people or things that we would normally relate to. They're both very intuitive, very exploratory in themselves. The Cheryl Lee Harnish Path of the Soul deck, which I haven't worked with in a while, and the Cosmic Laws Oracle by Oesima Tuaria. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. And yay, okay, cool. So we'll have some fun checking in on what you connect to. And please, as I said, if you are guided at any time to pull your own deck or connect and add to the reading, I'm really guided this year to share that of how this is an interactive process, right? Oracle sometimes feels like you're coming to the seat of someone that sees, but of course, all of you that are alongside me with this journey are seers yourself. We all have this capacity, this extrasensory capacity to perceive. So I look forward to seeing, even if you're watching this later, what may come up, what might add to the message. And if you're guided to share any of that wisdom, you're more than welcome to share it in the comments. Ooh, okay. So as you just see that, like literally just flipped over. I don't know if, oh, okay. This is a quite gentle card. So the colors are quite muted, but as you see, number 30, choice. And what is coming through for you in this card? I keep getting drawn up to the top of it. Ooh, the energy is strong. Okay. So I'll share this here. It's always interesting sharing cards this way because I try to see it first through how I'm sharing it, through how you are perceiving of it. And then from there, I can turn it around and see it through a different perspective, which is just my soul vision. I am coming across of a heart, most definitely, that is in the bottom, just actually above the 30, that has become quite prominent as I've kept it up here. And within that heart, of course, you know, I get reminded of my dear friend Claire Kenty of sharing, you know, that our choice is our superpower, right? Our choice and our capacity to say yes, no, or to choose things that discernment, that or choose things that resonate. You know, I use these terms a lot, but that of course is coming from a heart space. And as we explore further this heart link, and I'll speak of this heart link because I really felt it. It literally has started to feel, you know, the connection to people that are included, let's say, within my boundaries, within my be it chosen family, my communities that I build. You know, I am definitely starting to feel a physical response, much more so and much more profound to that heart connection. So before, when you might just feel kind of that resonance or connection within the heart space, it's now actually traveled much more, even from left foot all the way up. And literally it feels like it's like energetically going from that kind of true connection, that alignment that we've been working on, of how that has tapped us into this global web, this, you know, this energy web of heart connection, so that there is much more synchronistic events. There is much more connection between, like, a conversation you might have from this person to what you listen to at, you know, and choose to listen to here. Like, as you choose and choose more in alignment and in resonance with that heart expansion and that yes that you get, you know, and honor the no's that are directing your path, so that you continue to kind of re-emphasize or further expand and integrate this heart link. It's getting stronger, and it's becoming like, actually, please, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a link on my stories of this dear spiritual elder, and teacher Minari Ushigua from Ecuador, from the Sapara Nation. And he felt like he needed to go on and share a message today. And part of it was actually also talking about this heart link that I've been sensing. And it was just so cool because that's it. You know, he was sharing of how like the shift allowed those that have connected to this energy, and more will, you know, that it's become one heart. And so we're feeling the tug. We're feeling kind of the actual physical sensations on top of emotional and mental sensations of connection. And Jody shares heart in the earth. Yes, exactly. And I'm seeing a fountain on top. Yes, I was getting water from this. I haven't even gotten to this point yet. I was just even talking from what the heart is, but absolutely this water connection, one to another, holding hands, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It's neat because it doesn't come to me as like, you know, a waterfall or things that are flowing with a lot of force and intensity, right? It almost looks like a trickle or like droplets of water, or, you know, how you would see someone maybe peeing against a wall. So it's that it still feels like there's this is pulling me into also that within this choice that we are taking on, of this choice of really just going, I am being true. I'm being true to my experience, to my healing, to my work, as well as, of course, to my wisdom, to the wisdom you are receiving. The wisdom that you're receiving from this heart connection, this wisdom that you're receiving from this deeper resonance, right? So we're starting to sync in receiving the wisdom, right? But there's this beautiful, of course, flavor that will come from what you have to share. That's why you are here right now, right? And so the wisdom that I may share, you know, comes from my perspective, my experience, and then the wisdom that you share comes from your perspective, your experience. And the beauty of us kind of dropping these little wisdom droplets, or these little droplets of honey, of nectar around, and becoming more comfortable with sharing them, coming back to that still speaking our truth, even though it doesn't feel like we're speaking our truth like a, oh, just yet, you know, or a big like flow of information. That's okay, because it's January, you know, there's time to build up that force. There's time to, this is like our practice ground of becoming more and more comfortable, confident, and feeling that we do have, you have the capability, you are receiving wisdom, you are receiving your truth, and that is meant to be shared. You know, that and someone out there will, you know, synchronistically connect to it and go, yes, this is it. This is the message. This is the extra little droplet that needed to come to add to my, you know, to what you are receiving, to give a greater clarity, a greater nudge, or even potentially, as Jody shared, a more profound sense of hope that you can. I know, yes, you can is such a simple message, but I think it's an important one, because that is at the basis of choices. Yes, you can. You are allowed, capable, and in whatever shape or form you feel you are in, within your healing journey, within your accessing of energy and connecting to spirit and all that is journey, you can share wisdom. You have and you carry wisdom. And even if it feels like it's coming out just a gentle thing here, there, little bits at first, they are coming from that true place, and start to, you know, allow more of that sharing to come. Just seeing if there's, now in my perspective, if there's any. It's such an interesting card, because it's taking me time to actually even find the light to fully sense, or it kind of blends into itself. within the shadows. Mm. Which is exactly that. Exactly that is coming through, this feeling of shadows and light, the disparity between opposites, now that we're discovering and really connecting to, if all beings are sovereign, all beings carry wisdom, all beings carry something to bring into this heart connection, that there that some of those choices may feel they're required still to do to protect you or to assist you in overcoming fears or kaka, or like the really feelings of areas of your being that you feel most imbalanced in, or like the big still mountain to climb in self. And it's not to be disheartened in if those things are coming up, those types of challenges that are coming up, because those things, there's such a little amount of, yes, they might kind of bring a lot of a feeling like, oh gosh, this again. Oh goodness, I'm stuck with a choice that's asking me to say no to something that could potentially be this, but it's just still not feeling right. And like all those things that you kind of still like veer back and forth between. It feels like those are, if those are coming up now, to not get disheartened. It just keeps on coming back to this word disheartened, to allow yourself to know that that is heart sharing this gentler and more easeful way, which is a new way of us journeying. We have been taught, and it's not just within our physical body, but within even the DNA and the lineages that we carry, we've been taught that suffering, difficulty, challenge is part of the human experience. Of course, we see this in reality of what is going on, be it lockdowns, governments falling apart, things like that. Depending on how macro to micro you look at it, right? And so I'm not trying to share that suffering, suffering has shared a lot for us to move further onto the path, and us to move further into kind of discovering the areas of divide and disconnect. But I'm receiving that it's almost as if that suffering is literally being like not sponged, but I get there, this kind of like brush or something that's just kind of being like swept to the sides of you, and going, okay, so some of that residue might be arising just to ensure that you have truly stepped out of some of those patterns. Of fear, and that, like, waiting until the other shoe is going to drop, or allowing, feeling that, okay, this joy or this happiness has a time limit, a time capacity, and then it's going to go back to shit. And so it's right now, January, February, it's this gentle movement of it. It's not removing it, because there is, of course, beauty in all aspects of self and experience. But it is seeing what you choose to no longer carry, and how that choice of choosing to no longer carry some of these things might require you to put in action some conversations, of course, to actions that might still bring up some discomfort or uncertainty, or going like, can I do this? So to remember within some of the struggles or the suffering that you may still be currently experiencing and sensing, that the heart is still there. It's not that the heart is only in the good, or there is no divide. And I keep on getting at that there is no divide between good, bad, shadows, light anymore. It's like heart encompasses all. Heart encompasses all. And so in those moments that it might feel that more difficult decisions or more difficult communication is occurring, to allow yourself to take the breaths, ground, go a little slower, and be like, okay, I'm connected to this incredible heart energy. And now I trust, I can know that how my body speaks to me, how and what I am receiving for me is not just for personal benefit, but is for the greatest good of all, because it's one heart, it's one link. So what is allowing and maybe giving you at this point comfort and ease or more compassion is for self, is it's going, well, that is of course going to give more ease, gentle comfort, and compassion for another. Woo! I just got a big clearing, and thank you, however that came through, for even like answering some things that I was wondering about in my life, in some communications. It's wow. It's yes, to trust that you saying no, you doing sometimes to is actually going to also not just only give you ease. So it's giving ease to the other. It's giving ease to all pathways, all timelines, by honoring truth, by honoring heart. Wow. Thank you. This card has given a lot of energy. They're very talkative, these cards. I do receive a lot from them. Jody is sharing, I'm seeing the dark spaces are part of the whole, blending, integrating, not separate or to be removed. Yes, also a theme I've been noting the past week. Absolutely. This integration, separation, I feel, is the illusion, and so it's an illusion and a journey in even perceiving that, or even being able to say that, to be honest. And so yes, there is, it's kind of like, okay, cool, if you're flowing and going, moon energies are the best, it's like, well, then you're also saying that solar energy is great. All those things that we used to say are one or the other. Like, there is no, in heart space, there is no comparison. It is all encompassing. It is part of allness. And so to start to see kind of like the accordion kaleidoscopic experience that is shared within truth. Let's see. Now, I haven't actually pulled these cards in a long time. My goodness, this, and why I have to share actually is that they bring in a lot of guide energy. This is the one deck that she shares a lot of actually guide energy. And what I mean by that is, many of you all, and I think all of you have connected to spirit guides in some way, or the understanding of them. And so she actually brings in specific entities and beings in these cards. So after, I guess, that introduction, let us see if there are certain guides that are stepping in. Huh. Okay. I had to pull 2 cards. And, okay. All right. So the first card is another power number, 44, which has been coming up a lot these past days. So, and this card, I actually have connected to a lot. So I know already exactly what it is. So I let it up to you if you wish to share what you connect to first, because of that knowing. Oh, it's such, oh gosh. Speaking of love, such loving energy. Woo! Flowing. Anyone want to type in what they see, connect to in this card? And why these loving beings have stepped in? I'm guided to also bring up, as you potentially share of that card, the second card. And look at this one, 30, back to 30, which is interesting. 30. Okay. And seeing how these came up together. Debbie shares, I'm getting angels. And yes, it is an angel card. So if you were going, this feels like some quite otherworldly energy. Ooh, Healthy's sharing 44 divine ancestral councils where the spirit meets the matter in the new convergence. Abs, beautiful. The light winged ones, Ali X is sharing. 30 looks like an owl. Oh my gosh, I was just also writing about owl today and wisdom. Thank you for these cards. I wish I had. I need some additional hands so I can do. But because I'm feeling that I'm meant to actually open her book on this card before I share what I'm seeing, and just almost it's nice to kind of give an affirmation of what the author also channeled specifically. And just know I did not do that with these cards because she doesn't give a book. These are completely up to interpretation. Okay, so yay, 44, yes, such a potent number. And 44 for me in connecting to numbers has always been angels. Angels are with us. So it's quite divine to see, that 44 comes up and it's literally called birth of angels. Because you see, of course, there's a multiplicity of them. There's many coming. And even if I wish I, sorry, my light, but it looks almost as if there's no end. There's a continuation, be it from small to large. It says, so birth of angels. You are surrounded with the loving support of the angelic realm. You play an important role on earth in uplifting the consciousness of this planet. The angels are here with you to help in every way they can. Remember, you have not been abandoned here. You are not alone on this journey. Your gifts are very special and very needed. These divine beings are here with you to aid you in becoming fully who you are truly meant to be. Now you will see your path opening more than ever before. Ooh, Dollar Store has acrylic picture frames where you can fit the cards into and prop them up. Amazing! Oh my gosh, I'll totally check that out, Healthy. Thank you. No go-to for readings. Okay, great. Excellent. That's so you'll have like little flash. I love little things like that. That brings out my inner child and joy of play. That's why I love doing also Oracle anyways. So thank you for that. That really brings up a lot of joy to receive that information. Yes, angels. Gosh, angels, and it's neat. I actually wrote about them a bit I wrote a blog on gender and spirit that's been waiting in the ethers for a while. And, angels, it was kind of cool, actually, when I stepped into watching Netflix Sabrina recently, Teenage Witch. And I saw them bring in an angel character briefly and spoke of them as a they, them, not a she, her, or a him, he, even though the name has been sometimes depicted and connected to as one gendered or another. Because absolutely, whenever I've connected to angels, it is that union, it is that unified connection of what we have depicted as masculine, feminine energies. It is bringing in that exactly what was coming up and through with the choice card of going like it's all encompassing. There is no more separation. If you are doing and sharing and truth, wisdom, and your wisdom, then you are coming from a unified space. Oh, there's lights going, hello. So yes, exactly like that. It of course then, the angels would step in, right? They're going like, hey, they're it went in resonance. The guides that step in to share kind of that unified message most definitely would be of the angelic realm. Angelics have always been, incredible helpers to us. And the beauty of their energy, and I know many of you have connected to them, is for sure that it feels grand. It feels as great and as big as a planet. It feels expansive. It feels huge, and sometimes at points in our life, we may have not felt as huge. We may not have felt as grand and as great as these big winged creatures, and of course, what I'm receiving from this, of course, birth of angels, is this beauteous rebirth that has occurred within 2020. Of course, now is going like, hey, you are this angelic unified being within human form. That is why they have been almost like contracted to assist us in this realm, because we are one and the same. And so there's just and I know some of you have children, or potentially can connect to, even if you haven't birthed, that sensation of rebirth that all of us are capable of. And it's almost as if what has been reborn within this deeper kind of trust and knowing of that divine. God, it's much greater than divine. Sorry, words are like angel energy also slows me down, because it's just so but there is no divide to you being this small being that needs help and an angel coming to assist anymore. It's as if they are going like, there is no smallness in being a child. There is no less than, you know what I mean? Or not knowing, or that humans are stupid. I heard recently, like it's not, think back upon the way of a child, and actually how they have an immense knowing and deep relation and connection to all things that slowly may be stripped away from society and from teachings, or that they will start to lack of trust, and then we come back to it. So, gosh, they call upon them. If you receive specific names, sound them, don't share them. Meaning that there are certain sounded ways of expressing names. And I actually, this reminds me of working with one mentor, about like 8 years ago or so. of how when I shared a specific name that I connected to, that she was like, whoa, okay, that's like a very divine name for that being, and it's not meant to be shared. It's not, it's yours. It's like your ticket to ride. It's your exact way of connecting to that being, that may be different within someone else. Kind of like how the energy of the energy of water, right? Depending on where you are in the world, even that energy of that element, which is again a vast energy, may have a different translation. Someone will connect to it, or connect to them through wata or wat, as I shared, or there's many other words. So it's that type of sensation, is that some of the names that you'll be receiving, be it in dream state, be it in meditations, be it even just now. They're going like, actually, we're here right now. So even just now. And now, of course, as you know, is time past and before. So whenever you're watching this, if you do receive, then know that that is somewhat your dial-up code. And that way, it is not about asking them for assistance or help, because of course they come in protection and clarifying type of guaranteed if you're feeling some more of that fear or divide, but more so that they're like, I am here for you, sibling. We're here to connect further so that you can acclimate, a better acclimate to the grandness, to the vastness that is you. Whew. Thank you for that. Wow. And this energy that actually Haldi was sharing, that 30 looks like an owl. And it's neat because I've also shown this to people, and people think it's like a actual body, right? With some type of breasts or chest. And yes, the owl eyes are always a very significant type of connection. And it's neat though, because with, of course, eyes, and with anyone that does see a lot of eyes, or, seeing, knowing, wisdom, and owls, whenever I've connected to animals, spirit, great owl, which has been one of the guides of my mentor as well, they bring such a vast access to wisdom that is there within you. It's not as if the guidance that you are receiving now is feeling like it is coming from somewhere else that is not you. The wisdom that is coming and you are receiving and you are translating and you are sharing with the people that you work with, that you live with, that you connect and maybe are even blessed to touch during this, time of more isolation. It is yours. There is no divide. It's so wild that this keeps on coming up. I guess this is the new moon thing, is going, hey, let's get more comfortable with what union really means. Let's get comfortable what balance and harmony really signifies. Because as we then interweave and weave all the things that may have been disconnected or disjointed within us, that also has to do with our relation. And it was neat because I was writing about this when I was writing about kind of going beyond the binary between self and spirit. You'll see with a lot of my work, I always share, I'm harmonizing, connection between self and spirit. And even I started to see, the divide in that as untrue, of going like, well, self is spirit, spirit is self, and there is a lot more kind of that blending and that harmonizing, and in that harmonizing, it's going to take some time for us to kind of some maybe less than others, of really understanding that, of really comprehending on a physical, energetic, emotional, spiritual, mental, all of it, all of the levels, all of our bodily ways that we kind of have signified or given signatures and aspects of self. All those different perspectives that we carry are coming together. And I see as well, a lot, of course, this energetic line, this V that is kind of coming together right in between. And of going like, okay, so we might see here something as this, that. But of course, there's a convergence. There is that point, that union point, where all these different aspects of going, this thing and that thing, I don't like, this doesn't resonate, this resonates, we're being asked to look at that point right now. We're being asked to look at that place, so that when something does bring up irritation, discontent, or going like, ugh, this person is doing it this way and I don't want to do it that way, any judgments, I know we all got them. Please, there was Surviving Death, if anyone has seen it on Netflix, they have 2 episodes on mediumship, and it riled me up. Because as a medium, I was like, oh my gosh, there is so much that I just don't align with. But so, and what I mean by that, though, is that at the same time, of course, their experience is true. And the understanding, or the acceptance and the allowing and the acclamation that there are multiple experiences and multiple truths that can actually occur all simultaneously and all have almost validity. If you know what I mean, when you are aligned to heart, there is different translation. And even in that different translation, if something feels dissonant, it is a teacher. And it will share actually more of the wisdom that is meant to be coming through for you. So to allow those things that might feel kind of polarizing or bringing up some type of riling, going like, I usually share when I'm talking to my friends and I'm going, sorry, I'm going to go on a rant now, like those things, when you're just like, have all of a sudden this passionate force for going like, no, that those are some wondrous, like they're here for a reason right now. They're asking us to not then just turn the other cheek, or to go, oh, that no is not valid. That no is absolutely valid. Choice is valid, but that we are almost just learning how to acclimate to there being and existing multiple truths within oneness. Let that, multiple truths, like that in allness, in oneness, there is many, and those multiple truths, of course, will look towards what many have been speaking of course, like the fall of the patriarchy, or dismantling of kind of one way, or the highway, like my way, or this way, of only one way that is agreed upon by many people, as even, and so in order to allow that to dismantle further, or to abscond, as I'm really grateful for that word that was shared with me in a channeling a couple of years ago, which means kind of to scuttle away, because it's not even like don't you love that something that has been so chaotic and so destructive is literally just like a cockroach at the end of the day, just like, hiding in a corner. It's not needing as massive and destructive of a force to remove it than it has given and shared with us. So Whew. Okay, so definitely, it is assisting that. So the shadows, the no's, the passions, the judgments, or the things that are still coming up. It is not about then going, oh, okay, we're all heart, we're all one, and start to kind of bypass those things that give a strong no. It's allowing those no's to be a further a further teacher, just as you sit and receive from your spirit guides, your ancestors, star beings, and feeling as if this other being, is giving to you something that you receive, is seeing that the heart, right? That, as we keep on speaking of it, this sentient body that is, of course, governed, or the heart is its center. Your sentient body, this grand and vast thing that is as great and grand as an angel, shares with you your teachings, so that the things that we then share together, be it in a session like this, be it in receiving guidance from another, is more of a conversation, meaning that so that you can take what is needed from that conversation and then bring it, gather it into assisting what you are already perceiving within. The teachers are within. The teachings are within. The wisdom is found within. And I've been, it's a bit personal, but I've been really, someone was communicating with me recently about, like, I want you're such a master at this, or and I want you to do this and share your mastery. And I was like, whoa, like, master for me, right? I'm comfortable with saying self mastery. Most definitely, that is our path. But I've worked actually in the past as a Reiki master or as a yoga teacher, and I found that those titles for me personally made me kind of feel like I was putting on a suit, and as you see, I don't wear suits. It didn't feel like that was my path. And so I always used to then share more so that my teachers either were elders giving guidance, or that my teachers have always been animals, plants, and trees, spirit. And so I'm receiving very clearly right now that if you are seeking teachings, if you are seeking someone to share information, know that they are sharing information from their perspective. And the beauty of that is that more perspectives allow a greater semblance and union of information, right? Of seeing how this little nugget and this little nugget and this little nugget come together and bring you a greater knowing, bring you a greater tapping into your wisdom. But the teacher, the teacher is found within, and that teacher is your sentient body. Whew. Which is neat, because getting to 30s as well. So like 30 and 30 was a little confusing to me, because 33, is always the number, connected to with creation, and why it's connected to with creation is because it is an ascended master, ascended teacher type of energy, is that you've accessed the capacity to co-create, be it worlds, be it infinite form, right? And So it's neat that for me as well, in the 30, it's like we're 3 steps there, like, and those steps could be years, it could be, who knows. I'm not saying that how long those steps are, but it feels as if like we are working and moving towards actualizing that kind of like the birth of angels, of actualizing that we are these great things that we put outside of self, and starting to acclimate that greatness in a way, though, that is less I am great, so you must be here, right? Of being able to go, I am great, and no wonder, however you prompt me to see you in some way, you are great as well. And the words, this actually, I believe, is the feminine card, but I will just pull it up for a second just to add. Oh, okay. So talking about gender and spirit, so she shares goddess as the energy of this card, and is actually her yellow crown denotes self-empowerment, and the red denotes a strong embracement of her feminine sexual energy. And then she shares messages specifically for 2 genders of women and men. And let me know what's coming. I'm feeling some energy around that. Divine feminine rising. I realize we're a bit over. I usually keep these to an hour, but obviously some stuff is coming through. There's a lot of channeling going on. So I thank you for bearing with me. And if you need to leave, there's always a replay. Okay. Yes. The energy that is attributed to more of the energy that is defined as feminine has most definitely surfaced. I was actually and partook of some ancient ceremonies with elders. I'm grateful to be asked just to kind of carry or amplify space, of course, that were held around the solstice to literally do that. And so what comes to me and with that, though, is that then we look at going patriarchy falling, divine feminine rising. Again, this kind of one may be better than the other. Systems that have been corrupted and imbalanced for a very long time may need to die, abscond, and move through. But it does not mean then that the thing that has risen, because patriarchy means, paternal must be masculine energy and feminine rising. So it's like then feminine is better than masculine. And of course, this seeing, we're seeing the symmetry, right? The balance. And as well, this deep kind of channel and entry point of that energy, even in the center. And can we let that go? Can we, as we allow feminine energy to rise, to surface more, to realize that it is not eliminating or eradicating masculinity or masculine energy, it is just bringing balance. And that balance is creating that point between, that balance is bringing that true alignment for you that is of both, but also more than those two, right? More than what feels divided. and in the choices that we are being asked to make right now, personally, and potentially within how you do work, how you relate to others, how you communicate, how you share of self, are the rest and that extra space right now is being gifted to us so that we can further understand this and just further work on going that because something needed to not be fed anymore, we can forgive and lay it to rest and allow what has risen to, yes, have clout and carry a depth of energy that and knowing and wisdom that may connect you to also some female deities, female beings, ones that identify as more feminine, but that what they share, those goddesses, those feminine teachers, beings that are becoming more prevalent and relevant and sharing more on their planet. He's feeling it. They do not share that their energy is better than or more needed or any of that. They are sharing of this acceptance of all. They are sharing of how polarities, were asked for. Okay, polarities were asked for and required to further understand how one can be all. Okay, that was some good stuff. Questions? Anything that has come up in what has come through as I hydrate? And my dog joins in. My dog usually does come in. It's neat. He senses and listens very far away. So it's like if something comes into the energy field that he just needs to go like, hey, there's a heart link going on here. Simmer down now. Okay. So no additional questions, queries, anything that is coming from heart. This message seemed to be very clear, very not disjointed, very connected in this kind of seamless whisper. And definitely that is what has been coming through with New Moon. Enjoy the synchronicities. And what it's neat because even I shared it today of like going, take what resonates and leave the rest. And it's almost as if it's like if your heart led you to come and listen to something or read something or be in presence of something, then even what does not resonate is the teacher. That's the yes, no of going. So even the things like, it's like, go yes and yay to the things that resonate, because that is kind of almost the affirmation of why you came, right? Like or why you connected. But then the things that do not resonate almost go, I'm not going to just leave them. I'm not throwing them away. It's going, let me sit with why it doesn't resonate and let me see what comes from that. What teacher arises? What further expansion is moving through that thing that might initially have been like, discomfort? What expanded perspective? guided to bring one more card to the mix with words. And then I feel I may be complete in what I am sharing. Aww. And thank you if you need to mute sometimes and just put on the captions because of my doggy. For me, I've gotten comfortable with sound that sometimes brings up that, this isn't resonant, this is riling something up, right? That those things that, I come from a background, as I shared, of yoga industry or things like that always shared like everything had to be like calm and serene and just like, yay, gentle. And so, but of course, the times within my journey that have allowed the deepest shifts or the most incredible expansions in awareness were moving through some of that. And it's neat because what comes up here is work through your fears, and new moon in Scorpio. Of course, this is a new moon in Capricorn. So this is not saying to align necessarily, but it's funny because I am a Scorpio, so I understand and connect to a lot of the teachings, but Scorpios have always been misunderstood. They sometimes are feared or mysterious because they may not as readily share as some other signs, or some people have felt the severity of being cut out or stung by a Scorpio when they are in a discontented state. But definitely as a Scorpio of having that type of just massive passion to dive into the mystery, to step into that discomfort, to shift it, to transmute it. The alchemist that comes up, that desire comes here. And that's the work through your fears. It's not eradicating the fears. It's like literally get in there, get into them, and see how to transmute. You as an alchemist, you as a creator, what's the churning or the alchemical process? That's just all I'm getting, that to allow further that shift from fear to more of a heart-based, all-encompassing, of seeing that fear is part of the heart, and what is its teacher? What else is it sharing? When you were talking about aligned to heart, I see a heart in the middle and two small hearts on the side of that card as well, on that 30 card. Ooh, Ali, thank you. Yes. So I believe on the side of that card as well, it's on the 30 card. So is it these two cards? Maybe also this one. But yes, the heart in the middle and two small hearts on the side. That's so beautiful. I had to leave the chat for a second. Okay. So, yes. Thank you for bringing in that wisdom. With one heart, if oneness is still a concept that has not fully felt, actualized and connected to in realizing that it encompasses all difference, all seeming divides, then what I'm receiving is almost like tapping into from that alley, is that like that one heart. And even for me, when I first kind of like connected to all is love, or all is, source energy, life-giving energy, all is, can be sometimes a difficult concept to grasp mentally. And at the beginning of this message, was nourishment, was allowing space for the mind to not have to go, oh, I don't get it. So that split in two does, there is a beauty in the binary, even though we move beyond the binary. There is something to polarity, because it allows you then to potentially see a concept that might be challenging to grasp in one that can be found in two. It's like, and then those two split. There's so that multiplicity again that is coming up here. So if the fear, if the no, there is a heart within the no. There is a heart within the yes. There is a heart within the shadow, within the light. And this actually, thank you so much, Ali, for bringing this up. You reminded me of something that was coming up today. And most of you know I love to draw. So, and I pardon if I don't give this justice, but we all familiar with the yin-yang symbol. And of course, one would look like, this is that there is this, a little bit of this in this, and a little bit of this in this. And I've seen it translated as that, of kind of like there is some shadow and light, there is some light and shadow, or there is some yin and yang, and there's some yang and yin. And what I received further from this, and this will be closing, was that it's not necessarily that there is the opposite in the opposite. Like, it's not necessarily that, but it's sharing that within, okay, let's use feminine and masculine, just because for yin yang, there might be, I don't want to move too far into wisdom that I haven't studied as much. So within feminine, there is both. Within masculine, there is both. So within masculine, it's not that it's just that all things that are within masculine energy are of masculine. And so in that knowing that even the binaries, even the things that seem opposite, there is something that is also in it that is both, that is more than one. There is something to ponder and to connect on that. And I'm sure we can discuss further as this month progresses. Most of you know as well, I do run an open full moon circle. So if you wish to connect and see what has come up from this guidance and from these moments and areas of contemplation with the new moon oracle, you're welcome to go on my site and join for one moon ceremony or a couple. It's up to you. And in those ceremonies, we can then, they're on Zoom, so we can then actually connect with spirit and move further into ceremony with what arises at that point in time within these teachings, within our journey. And of course, more wisdom sharing. So of course, I always invite any of you for that. I've also just updated my services to include safe travels, which was a directive that came through in October from my Star Council team. For definitely, they share more of how to travel safely through dimensions and through time and space. And so definitely, I'm adding that to what I already offer, and look forward to facilitating more guided experiences with traveling. So meaning that it's not like me giving you the experience, but we are collaborating and speaking and moving through it together so that you can then know how to do this on your own. And anything else coming up that I'm supposed to share? Oh, thank you, Ali. If not, follow me on Instagram or YouTube. I will be more active on YouTube. Yes, that's it. I will be sharing some, not just lives, but also some recorded meditations and breath work and other ways that I am guided to share some of my wisdom to assist us in this assimilation process. There, that's what I'll put, assimilation process. And so those will come up. So subscribe to my channel if you are so guided to do so, and we can continue this journey together. Thank you all for connecting. I feel actually very elated from this connection today and from the energies that all who chose to sat with me brought in and share with your teams and with your great connections. May you continue to explore and harmonize all that is within self, within spirit. And I look forward to continuing this journey. As you see, New Moon Oracles will now be on Wednesday evenings once a month, and they'll be up for sure on the schedule way prior to. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you wish to connect to that heart link for a moment, and you're still here, breathing deeply in towards sentient being, sentient body, giving gratitude to your body, to this embodied experience, the joy that is you. And as you feel that energy expand further from your body in all directions, of how you now can further tap into that global network to link to that global heart. Where with your breath, you share your wisdom, you receive their wisdom. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wondrous rest of your evening, and may the next couple days that ripple of new moon energies allow you to receive more from these prompts. I look forward to seeing what comes, always open to share. Take care. Mwah. And let's see, closing, we're end stream. Okay.